Hey y'all, this is T.S. Madison coming to you loud, live, and in color, honey, from the Outlaws podcast with me, T.S. Madison. Today is a little bit different. We're shifting gears here. We're not really doing she is a celebrity. She's a celebrity. She's a celebrity congresswoman who I am so excited to have on the show today. I'm very interested to know where we're going as a country, how we're moving around as a country. And being that I'm trans and I represent a lot of different layers of identity, Black, trans, femme, fat, you know, I I want to talk to someone who represents me in Congress. And so Jasmine Crockett has been very big on social media, more visible than most Congress people usually are. You usually hear about people in Congress, you hear about people in the Senate, you hear about people in the, in the House, in the government, and you don't see them. You see them on a ballot, or you see them on a ticket, and then you see their pictures around in a yard or whatever, but you don't really normally really see them. We've seen her over and over and over again, and she's been very vocal about her stance against Donald Trump. I've found it to be very hopeful, and I've also found it to be very scary because I'm afraid for her. It's dangerous to be a Black woman, loud, live, and in color as she is, and being very vigilant on her stance against Trump, against Doge, against, all the things that are going on in the political system right now. And this episode is coming out in Pride season, and I have a booking in Texas. I have a booking in Texas. And I am afraid to set foot in Texas. And she's a representative from Texas. And so I'm just really afraid to set foot in Texas because they're really trying to criminalize being transgender in Texas. They're trying to make it a law against being a transgender person in Texas. And so it is crazy to me, the focus that this regime, for a lack of a better term, this regime has placed on making trans people public enemy numero uno. And I'm afraid for Ms. Crockett almost as equally as I champion her. And I champion her a lot. Like, I share everything that she posts. I share it. I get under in the comments, and I really don't really get in people's comments because I'm not that type of girl. I don't go in people's comments. I just share my thoughts on my own platform. I go under her comments. I engage. You know what I'm saying? I share with people, with my friends and family, I share in the space of that this person gives us hope. It gives me hope. It gives us a reason to still believe in democracy, because currently I've lost faith in democracy. I felt like after the election, the hope for everything just like the air. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach, or somebody had punched me and like the air just left my lungs. Because I was like, how in the world did we arrive to such a space to where people really got out in the streets, got in their cars, drove up to the voting poll and voted for Donald Trump? And not just voted for him with the knowing, the full knowing that this man stood for inequality, injustices, hate, transphobia, homophobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, any phobia you can fucking think of. This person was running on it. This person was running on that. And it's just like, how did nobody see that? Like, how did no? And I remember one of my, which I'm going to talk to Ms. Crockett about. I remember one of my posts, I said, where are the Democrats? Where are the Democrats? Where did they go? Like, are y'all really going to sit up here and the system is breaking all types of laws. They're breaking all types of constitutional laws. They're going against the Constitution. And so the Constitution is from what I was taught in school. By the way, they're dismantling the Department of Education. I was taught that the Constitution was there to protect the people. But, I'm Black. So I don't really think that the Constitution was ever really, honestly, if we're really being technical, I don't think that the Constitution was ever really designed to protect anything outside of people that were white, or because it was definitely not built with the people of color in mind. But there's been so many amendments to the Constitution that have was supposedly helped people of color, like the Civil Rights Act, which the Trump administration so casually has is challenging. I'm going to get clarification on that. Like, how much can they do? So I'm going to get a little clarification on that when I'm talking to Ms. Crockett. I'm just like every other transgender American citizen. I'm lost and afraid. And I don't know. Like, you ask someone, hopefully today I can get maybe one or two answers. Fix that right there. I can get maybe one or two answers. Hell, I'd be happy for just one answer, like one answer. I'd be happy for that. If I can get two questions answered with a hopeful answer, I'd say we're making some kind of progress. 3 questions, yikes. Oh, hallelujah. Glory be to the ever-living God. But I'd like to know, where do we stand? What are we going to do? I'd like to know that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joined with Ms. Crockett in just a moment. Queen.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen, the country cannot wait. The country cannot wait.
It can't. And this is why I wanted to come here.
But why did you have to be so fine? Like, I came from work,
I was coming up
and
here
I'm looking like who did it and what
No,
for, and
girl,
then you
listen,
just
you
like,
over
okay.
You over here doing like this.
Yes.
Representative Jasmine Crockett, it is an honor to sit here and communicate with you today. I'm going to jump right into it because I know you got a lunch break and you got stuff to do.
Yes.
I want to thank you. I just want to open my throat and say, merci beaucoup.
And I like too.
Yeah, I'm a little something. I'm mixed with a lot of stuff. I want to say thank you for what you're doing. When I inboxed you, I wanted you to know that it was important for me to let you know, as a Black trans woman and fat and loud, I want you to know, thank you. I really truly want you to know. I know you hear it a lot and you see people saying this thank you so much a lot, but I truly, truly will load up my car with a whole bunch of my girls and we would tear some shit up. Okay? We would tear some shit up. I thank you for the strength and the perseverance and the ability not to back down in the face of any adversity that's going on right now. And I meant what I said about you being protected at all costs. The hardest thing to be in this country, what people don't really understand, is Black. But then to add Black woman, Black femme, Black trans, Black visibility on top of anything is just, and you're doing the work for all those intersections of it. And again, we thank you. I'm here sitting with you now. I know that you don't have a lot of time, but I want to talk to you about where we are as a country. Where are we? I'm so afraid as a Black trans woman. I'm so afraid. Like, and I know you're from Texas, and I know, you know, the things that are going on in Texas right now, the way that they're trying to criminalize transgender people. Like, what is going on?
So first of all, it's an honor to be here with you. And, I like to say they hate you because they can't be you. So every little hate that they spew your way, my way, it is because they know that they see how beautiful we are inside and out. And we walk in that greatness every single day. And there is nothing that they can do that will diminish us or make us feel less than, even though that's what they want us to believe we are. So let me just say thank you for living your truth, because that really takes courage. And the sad part is that it should never be courageous to be who you are.
Yeah.
That should just be what is the norm.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason I say it's courageous is because you know that the attacks are coming.
Yeah.
Like you listed it off, right? Like you started with the Blackness that you were born into, like that is a situation. Being trans, right? Like that is a situation. It's a situation for attack in this country. And it's coming from the people that we have elected to protect us, the people that have been entrusted to protect us. And the idea that, when people get all riled up about anybody, right, that is not old, white, male, and rich, anytime they get very riled up, I just think about and I wonder, what did the struggles look like back in the day?
Yeah.
When we had not enjoyed things such as the passing of the Civil Rights Act, when we did not enjoy some of the freedoms where we acknowledged things like Jim Crow was wrong. And I think about the fact that when they justified not treating us as a whole person, when they justified us being somebody else's property, when they justified, separate but equal and not allowing us to learn together, not allowing us to eat in the same places or drink out of the same facilities, when I think about those things, I think about the fact that they justified it, number one, through the Bible.
Yeah.
And then I think about the fact that they also had this justification as if we were different, as if we didn't all bleed the same and we weren't the same. And so as the attacks seem new, they really are tired and old. And we've been through them before. And I can recognize the hate, no matter if we're talking about in the 50s or if we're talking about in 2025. And so with me, I know that we've persevered past them. We have still been able to accomplish so much despite them. And I truly believe that as we walk into this next season, this losing season for the haters, I think that we will again be able to transgress and show that, like, we are great, we are normal, we are actually, if anything, we got superpowers as far as I'm concerned. So it is easier, in my opinion, to do what's right every single day that I go in and serve and do right for everyone, because at the end of the day, I know that there was a time and a place And if they could, they would throw me back in chains.
Yeah.
Somehow, those that came before us managed to break loose of the physical chains, even though we still have a bunch of systemic chains that we are still kind of wrangling with.
Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong?
I think we got comfortable. I think that we've heard from so many of our foremothers and forefathers that every generation has its own fight as it relates to freedom, and freedom is never truly won. I think even when you look at, Roe v. Wade, that was a 50-year fight, right? And the thing is, like, the hate has never gone away. It may have gone underground, or as I said in the speech that I gave at Tougaloo, is that Jim Crow never died. He just lied in wait, right? So, like, it's not that it's ever gone away. But if we haven't seen it being so overt and in our faces, we get comfortable. And that's when its ugly head starts to rear and reveal itself. And that's what we're dealing with now, is that everybody thought, oh, we're smooth sailing. I ain't got to pay attention to elections. It don't matter who it is that's in office. It's all going to be the same. If I'm broke, I'm going to stay broke. If I'm rich, I'm going to stay rich. And, whatever, life will continue to go on. And now we are in the find out phase.
Yeah. We done already effed around.
Yeah.
Now we definitely finding out.
Yeah.
So recently I seen Donald Trump openly try to attack your intelligence when he's like the most unintelligent person on the planet. How do you maneuver outside of like when you come home and you unwind, and then you know that you have all this visibility on you, and you got the world watching, and how do you like unwind from that? Like, because it has to be awful. Because I'm in your comment section. I share everything that every time you are at a hearing. I share everything you post. I share your lives. I share everything because I know that this is the way that we reach people. We have to share. So I share it. But I also follow you because I want to, like, I say to myself, like, I wonder how she's doing, like, after this. I wonder how she's feeling on the inside after this. And how does this make her feel, like that, like, stupid men, stupid women, even men of your own color and women from your own color saying ignorant shit like, well, she's ghetto, or she needs to, learn how to speak, or she's, coming from your own, like, how do you decompress from that?
Yeah. So first of all, I definitely, like, no shade to nobody, but, like, I'm not taking advice from people that have never walked a day in my shoes. Like, that's just the reality, right? Like, it's easy to sit on the sidelines, or for most of them to sit behind a computer and be in this space of ambiguity and to have all of the answers. But until you have lived my life, I'm really not checking for you. That's just to be perfectly honest. Like, these people that have these very strong opinions. And again, knowing history, I know that there were always Black people that were on the wrong side of history.
Yeah.
I know that if certain Black people were in charge, we would still be in the physical chains. So, people that have a certain mentality, I just let them have their mentality. But mine is one of freedom. And when I say freedom, it is freedom to be who I am and who God made me wholly and fully. And you can't challenge me overall, because I know I got the credentials. As everybody knows, I always got receipts. My credentials not only come with my actual education, but they also come in the form of my actual experiences. And so, I don't trip about any of that. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. If anything, it makes me sad for them. It doesn't make me sad for me at all. I also do, though, dealing with Trump likes to dog whistle.
Yeah.
So essentially what he's done is try to put a target on my back. But again, understanding that I only got to become the 55th Black woman ever elected to Congress because of the sacrifices that people were willing to make. I think that I number one, I pray that God keeps me covered. Number two, I keep my head on swivel. Number three, I am licensed to carry. And number four, we do a lot to make sure that I've got the amount of protection that I can get and afford. Because as a member of Congress, I'm not just given kind of a team of law enforcement officers. And so I'm thankful for the cities and the counties that work with Capitol Police. And as the level of threats is increased, they make sure that I'm covered when I show up. I had to go to Mississippi to do a graduation, and it's Mississippi, a place where I'm sure there's more hate than love for me overall in this state. And law enforcement made sure that nobody who had ill intentions could get anywhere near me. But at the end of the day, I know the blood that runs through my veins. I know that if I am going to really do more than just kind of sit in a seat, but that I am going to make sure that I have a seat at the table, make sure that when I'm at the table, I'm pulling up other chairs for others to come behind me. It may involve a level of sacrifice. I sacrifice a lot of my personal life and have to think about every movement that I make and whether or not I can go out, if I can go somewhere, who I go with, if there's a private room, if I can get somebody to make sure that they are watching me at the time. It is a lot. But I think that it's absolutely worth it knowing that people died just so I could be here.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump dropping the name of someone who literally is only just now entering her second term in Congress kind of tells you who's trying to get on whose level, right? Like, you're the president of the United States, and I can guarantee you, if I somehow was sitting in the White House, I wouldn't be worried about no random nobody, young person that is in the house. But the reality is that he knows that my message is effective. He knows that the things that I'm saying are true. And he knows that he can't just fake media me, fake news me. He knows that people, even who aren't Democrats, listen to what I have to say because, number one, I make it plain. And number two, I always make sure I back up my information and challenge somebody to find that what I am giving them is false. And that is what is most threatening to him, is because he's been used to Democrats that have kept their heads down and just did the work. But I do the work while also talking my talk and walking my walk.
So I want to speak to that when you said he's used to the Democrats that have kept their head down. Currently, right now, I know that I was right after the election. Miss Jasmine, I felt like that they punched me in the freaking stomach. Like I sat on my platform and everywhere that anybody could see me, and I was Kamala, and I broke down Project 2025, and I just kept, and it was like even the people, girl, I can get so emotional right now. Even the people around me, I was like, girl, what is this man saying that has you in a chokehold? Like, what is he saying? Clearly, it is because this is a woman. Clearly, the problem is because this is a woman and not just she is a Black woman. Clearly, because you can't be sitting around here picking apart everything that she's not saying and then ignoring the shit that he's saying. He's literally telling you what he's going to do, and y'all love it, but he don't mean it like that. Like, well, how do you feel now?
It's interesting because everybody was clear about what was in his head, and now they sitting there looking like, oops. No, they just decided to give him a pass for everything. I mean, one of the things that comes to mind is that I talk about the fact that, he denounced Project. Well, he didn't denounce Project 2025. He distanced himself from it, like, oh, I never heard of it and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but everybody around you wrote Project 2025. I pointed out in a hearing that his name was mentioned over 300 times in Project 2025, that the people, like the person that is over budget right now, is one of the authors of a chapter of Project 2025. He has numerous people in his administration that are Project 2025 authors. And you're telling me you know nothing about it. But one thing he did do is he told people about these tariffs and his crazy ideas about tariffs. Now, he did campaign on tariffs. Now, I don't think he understood how they work. I still don't think he understands how they work. But something about tariffs really gets him going. And so he campaigned on that. And people heard him say that. And they still never responded. Now, one of the reasons that his approval ratings are so low is because of the tariffs. I'm like, but he told y'all that. Like a lot of this stuff he lied through his teeth, but he at least told you about the tariffs, and y'all wouldn't take 2 minutes to try to understand what we were trying to tell you is that no, it's not other countries that are going to pay this. It is going to be you that is going to pay this. And people refuse to listen to us. So, it's one of those things that I'm trying to get through to so many on my side and say, you know what, it's about how we communicate, because I feel like we are not trusted messengers. And for whatever reason, they trusted the biggest known con man ever, right? They trusted him. So it didn't matter what he said because they believed in his heart, regardless of his policies, regardless of his words, they believed in his heart, right? And so I think it is important that we build rapport, especially in the Black community. Right? Like Black community has gotten so tired of every time it's election time, that's when we show up to all the churches. That's when we want to come to the barbershop. That's when we want to have a conversation instead of continuously engaging in communication and letting people know, like, this is what I'm doing for you. And this is why what he done is going to mess you up. Like, it has to be a continuous relationship. It's kind of like that dude that want to come around every once in a while and he want to call you at like midnight. Yeah. Like, bro, we haven't talked in months. Yeah. Like, do not be blowing me up now. At midnight, you better at least find a decent time where I think you're trying to take me out.
You in town. Right. Okay. Enjoy your stay.
Enjoy your stay. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I want to speak to because you said earlier about the Democrats that seem complacent. Me as a Black American, a Black transgender American citizen, it does seem like the Democrats have been very complacent in this whole thing. And my thing is, when you ask, because I get on my platform and I say, where are the Democrats? Where are the Democrats? Where are the Democrats? And then we see you constantly, but you can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
Do you feel alone?
There are times for various reasons, though, but I will tell you that I think that there's a lot of different responses to Trump. I think there are those that are like, I've been through Trump 1.0. So they basically were expecting 2.0 to be kind of like what they already had been through. And 2.0 is like next level. It's like supercharged ridiculousness, right? So I think that some people got caught off because they were like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't Trump 1.0. Like, he has like flipped the script. So I think you've got that bucket of people. I think you have other people that were like, surely, like the backstops that were built into the foundation of our country, surely the backstops are going to hold. And then it's like, well, it seems like the dam is breaking, right? Like, you get the court orders and you're starting to win in court and you're trying to basically let checks and balances work. And then it's like, he basically is like, to hell with the courts, to hell with your orders. So now they're like, well, crap. Like, because there are those that were like, we have an answer for this, right? And so now they're like starting to get their stride. So I think that there's waves of people and they are coming online. I think that for the average American watching, as soon as he started cutting off money, him and Elon, and we like, wait a minute, what happened? Like, everybody like, well, everybody should be, jumping at it. And others are like, oh, the courts will take care of it. Or oh, we've been through 1.0. And then you got people like me that's like, bro, this is not normal. Like, and it is time for us to do our part, whatever we can, even though we're in the minority. So, we're starting to see members that are doing more town halls in other people's districts. I was talking to some members about that, about seeing what we could do to amplify that they actually are doing this work.
Yeah, because it don't seem like it. It don't seem like, no, it doesn't seem like anybody is doing anything except like you're very, very vocal. And I watch this stuff, what's going on, because I have to watch, not only just because I'm trans, girl.
Yeah.
That's even though that is the top of the list. My mother gets Social Security. My
Yeah.
mother is disabled. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have money, but why do I need to try to go make an extra $10,000 for medication that
Right.
she's already paid money in, for working? Like my mother's 60, 63. Like what is, I'm over here like, what is going on? Like
Wow.
what the freak is going on? Like how are we gonna, like, is nobody paying this thing any attention, like how this affects everybody? And like you said, Elon is not an elected official. Why is this gentleman over here in this place governing over things and he's not even is he a citizen?
He is. But he
Oh,
wasn't born here. He like some of these people that they trying to send out.
deport. So he's an immigrant.
He's absolutely an immigrant.
So why he in El Salvador?
Well, there we go. Yeah.
And
And the federal government constantly giving him money, but they complaining about anyway. That's a whole other issue. But
my thing
I
is,
will say this. I think that, first of all, let me just say thank you for how you use your platform, because I do think it's important, because I think that there are people that you can reach that I could never reach, because there are so many people that literally, again, it goes back to that report, people that don't trust politicians. And what I try to tell people nowadays, and I think they're starting to understand it, is that you may not be politically engaged, but you absolutely are politically impacted. And
yes,
that's the reality. Like, even if it's not you directly, right? Like, everybody got a mama, everybody got a daddy, a auntie, a granny, a somebody, right? Somebody that you love and care about who is currently receiving Medicaid, or Social Security benefits, or you're hoping that one day your Social Security benefits are going to be there. And so it is important to pay attention. Or if you are, trying to deal with childcare, which is very expensive, like understanding that Head Start is something that they have decided that they wanted to gut, or looking at the fact that, we all have people, or at least I know people that, use Meals on Wheels, right?
yeah,
And that they are looking at losing theirs, or that people only get $6 a day to eat from SNAP benefits. And right now they're talking about cutting $220 billion worth of SNAP benefits to people when you can't even buy, 12 eggs for $6. So what is
right.
$6 a day to eat? If anything, you should be putting more money into it instead of less, especially as these tariffs start to hit. They're going to only further increase the amount that this food costs. And even if you say, well, I don't know nobody on SNAP because I'm, living a high life and I only roll with certain people. Let me tell you something. I am somebody that practices criminal defense work. And there are those that believe that the only people that commit crimes are criminals. And my experience is that there are people that are put into certain desperate situations that have them do criminal things, but
Yeah.
they are not necessarily criminals. There is a difference, right? And so every time we can look, it doesn't matter where you look in this country or even another country where you have higher levels of poverty, there tends to be higher incidences of crime, because you do have some people that are literally just trying to survive. So whether it's committing thefts so that they can eat, or committing thefts so they can take care of their children, or whatever it is, there is a survival instinct that kicks in. And so even if you don't care about nobody else, I'm sure you care about yourself and your community, and whether or not, you have higher incidences of crime. So this is really just smart legislation. It's not about, being a Democrat or a Republican. And even when we look at, I fight really hard for those that are on SNAP benefits, because I just think it's the right thing to do. I think it's
Yeah.
a truly Christian thing to do,
Mhm.
especially when we're talking about pennies, right? But at the same time, it's rural America that uses more SNAP benefits than urban America.
Talk about it.
It's not us. It's rural America, right?
Mhm.
So like, I oftentimes tell my colleagues that I'm fighting harder for your constituents than you are. Like, it's a shame that you're the person that's supposed to be their voice when you literally are trying to take food out of their mouths. And I also tell people, and this final point I'll make about this, is that this is all an ecosystem, right? I was giving a speech the other week, and I said that one of my favorite songs is I Need You to Survive. And if people understood that we need each other to survive, then maybe they would have a different attitude about how they go about this. The reality is that those farmers, may not end up surviving once you pull that money out. Because just because you pull that money out don't mean that somebody gonna automatically go and replace the $220 billion that was in that ecosystem to make sure that you were making money.
Right.
So I just, I hope that we're not going through this hell for everybody to come out and not have learned any lessons or educated themselves on why it is so important to understand that we're a global economy, and why it's also so important to understand that we need to take care of the least of us a lot more than we take care of the 1%ers at the top.
That's what the books say. There's two things I want to do with you, sister. I want to ask this question because I feel like I really want to know.
Okay.
Are we ever going to recover from this?
You're asking me to play Miss Cleo right now. I can't tell you that I know the answer to that. What I can tell you is that specifically Black people know how to survive and ultimately thrive. And so I truly believe, because we've never gotten our just due in this country, that Black people will definitely make it out on the other side. All right. But it is hard to assess how much damage has already taken place. It's one of the reasons that I decided to intentionally stay on the Oversight Committee, because I understood the importance of doing oversight in this moment. And, as we are potentially about to go through a transition on oversight, I really want to dig into the weeds. I want to make sure that we're sending out subpoenas. I want to conduct investigations. I want to do shadow hearings, so that we can really dig in and find out what all have y'all done and how bad is it. I can tell you that I don't think that we could recover in 1 4-year term, so I can't afford for people to get upset, even if we get a Democrat, the next go round, for them to say, well, I didn't get everything fixed in 4 years. They tore it down in the first 100 days, so surely you could fix it in, 4 years. I can't say that. My mom is someone who most likely is about to enter her retirement phase because of kind of all the crazy that is happening. She's been with the federal government for almost 40 years. Like, you can't just go and replace that type of experience and institutional knowledge. And we are losing that at all of our agencies. And even if those people are sunsetting and they're about to leave the agencies, there's always kind of been a handoff, right? It's like bring in the new, but they're being trained up by the old.
Yes.
And so I don't know. They've been reckless. They've been ignorant, and incompetent. So I have no idea how much harm. But until we can start to dig in, and I don't know how many true answers we're going to get ultimately until we get them out, I have no idea. No idea.
That's scary.
It is.
That is very scary. I want to thank you for fighting for us, even through all of the fear and everything. Is just like the only way over is through.
Yeah.
So we just got to go through it. Now, the last section of our show, it's called Ban It, Bitch. Now, this segment of our show, I have to say this, some people are out here banning drag shows, LGBTQ books, and even our very existence, but we're flipping the script. What's something you would ban if you ran the world? Here's how it works. We each get 1 minute to make our case for what needs to go. Producers will keep track of time and call out when there's 30 seconds and 10 seconds left. Let me kick it off and show you how it works.
Okay.
All right. You ready, Tyler? My name is T.S. Madison, honey, and if I ruled the world, I would ban people who don't pay attention to the details. I am so sick of people not paying attention to the details and then having all of these major complaints, honey, when the platter is served to them exactly how it was written it was going to be ordered. I think that people who don't read the fine print and complain about everything that they got are the people that have caused this country to be in the turmoil that it's in now. Those that don't read the fine print and those that don't pay attention to the big print ahead of them. I want to ban people who just are not paying attention. And I want to ban people who are selfishly walking on this planet, are working off of privilege and have caused every other person who was paying attention to the small print and the big print harm because they just don't care because it doesn't affect them. I want to ban every bitch that don't pay attention. You are banned in the United States of America, and that's my time. I yield.
All right, is it my turn?
Yes.
All right, so this is Representative Crockett, and if there was one thing that I could ban if I ran the world, it would be racist, hateful, hypocrites. All right, so let me get into it. First of all, the racists are the ones, when we look at the numbers, absolutely are committing most of our most violent crimes. They are coming not from quote unquote Black Lives Matter. They are not coming from immigrants. They are actually coming from white supremacy groups. There are numbers and data to back me up. When we look at things like what happened in Buffalo to Black folk just trying to go and shop for their groceries, when we look at what happened in El Paso when they decided to shoot up folk right there at the border, at the Walmart, when we look at what happened to churchgoers that were simply trying to praise the Lord in South Carolina, or when we look at those tiki torch holding hoes, racists have always been what has ruined our country. When we look at when our country does best is when we respect everybody and we stay out of people's business. Our diversity is truly our strength. We end up with better numbers for corporations, and we end up with better environments as it relates to everybody's mental health. And so when you want to talk about, if you want to fix something, just take the hate out. And honestly, you can say that racist is synonymous for hate. And I'm going to say that they're hypocrites because at the same time that they hate our diversity, they get mad when Kendrick goes and does the Super Bowl and says, where is the diversity? So don't be hypocrites at the end of the day.
And that's the lady's time. Queen, thank you so much for being with me.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. Thank you so much for hitting me up.
Yes, I had to.
I'm sorry I look a hot mess, but when I see you next, I'm gonna be.
Oh, listen.
I'm gonna be half as fine. I ain't gonna be.
No, you're gonna be fine. Cause listen, when we probably gonna slide. You know, we gonna listen. Even if we slide in private, and I have my peoples bumping quarrel, pulling you together, and we go out and see Beyonce. Girl, I want to come see Beyonce in what you.
I need to figure out. I need to figure out her tour. See if I can catch her in one of the cities.
Where you live?
Between DC, Dallas, and the air.
So you live between DC and Texas.
Yes.
So I want to catch her in Texas because I want to experience her.
Yeah.
So you know I'm on Cozy. You know I'm on that song Cozy. That's me on there saying I'm dark brown, dark skin, light skin, beige, fluorescent beige, bitch. I'm black. That's me.
I did not know, but I love it.
So that's me doing it. So usually she brings me out, like she'll bring me, like when she was on the Renaissance tour, she brought me out, well, not out on the show, but she brought me to watch the show in Atlanta. I want to tell them I want to experience it in Texas.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna have to keep you posted. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna see when she's gonna be where.
Yeah, and then we see if we can line up like that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna inbox you.
Okay.
All right, baby.
Thank you.
I love you, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.